The Nairobi impeachment storm has taken a new twist, this time not from the county assembly, but from Kisumu. Ruth Odinga, Kisumu woman representative and sister to former Prime Minister Raila Odinga, has publicly lashed out at both Raila and President William Ruto for stepping in to block the impeachment of Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja.
The issue of devolution. And one of the main tenets of devolution is that the MCAs are oversighters of the county governments. And therefore, the actual fact that the MCAs of Nairobi came out to oversight and say that they had no confidence in the governor of Nairobi should have been recognized, and nothing should have been done. They should have been allowed to go through with that petition.
Her words were sharp. She called the decision to suspend the motion very disappointing, accusing national leaders of undermining the constitutional role of Nairobi's MCAs. According to Ruth Odinga, the assembly had gathered enough momentum to hold Governor Sakaja accountable, and the intervention has only silenced legitimate oversight.
And I tell the Nairobi MCAs that they should have continued with their process, so that if in case they feel wronged, let them impeach him, let him go to Senate, let Senate then say that whether he's right or not. But to stop the process when there was already grievances. I am from Kenya, I'm not from Nairobi. I am somebody who is actually a believer in devolution and oversight. And therefore for me, I feel disappointed in what the Nairobi MCAs have done. They should have gone through the process. They should have ensured that we actually uphold the devolution, the tenet of devolution that states that the MCAs are the actual oversighters of the governor. So for me, I'm very clear and categorical that the MCAs of Nairobi have let down the people of Nairobi.
So what exactly was at stake? For weeks, Nairobi members of county assembly had been preparing to send Sakaja packing. The charges were not minor: unfulfilled campaign promises, a lack of delivery on development funds, and frustrations over stalled projects that touch directly on the lives of city residents.
The members are also saying that the governor is not in touch, completely in touch, both with the ground and with this assembly, the members of this assembly. 3/4 of the members who make calls to the governor, he does not reply or call back to these members. So there's a question of communication between the executive and the assembly, and there is also the issue of his failure to come out on the issue of the broad-based government. He does not give direction on the issue of broad-based government.
Out of 123 members of the county assembly, more than 70 had already signed on to the motion, dangerously close to the required 82 signatures needed to table it formally. The political pressure was mounting. That is when the interventions came. ODM MCAs were called to a meeting with Raila Odinga, while UDA MCAs held their own session with President William Ruto. The result, the impeachment motion was paused, shelved for a month, effectively cooling down what could have been one of the biggest political showdowns Nairobi has seen this year.
Katika maongeo yetu ambayo tumekuwa nao kwa masaa 4-5 ambayo yamepita, tumeongea na watu wamezungumza na MCAs wametoa mambo yao na yamesikizwa, na vile vile pia leadership wametoa mambo yao ikasikizwa. Kwa hivyo kwa kauli moja tumekubaliana kwamba hiyo pending impeachment yairishwe na itolewe, na sasa tumekubaliana governor aendelee na kazi, na vile vile ajumuike na akapewa pia marekebisho ambayo anafaa kufanya katika uongozi wake katika kaunti ya Nairobi. Na pia governor ametoa malalamiko yake, na vile vile akaomba msamaha kwa wale MCAs wote, na tumekubaliana kwa muda wa mwezi moja yale marekebisho yao yamefanywa, na tuone mji wa Nairobi ikiendelea. Tumesema ututaki siasa mbaya katika mji wa Nairobi. Kwa hivyo governor ana uhuru wa kuendelea kazi yake hata kwa na impending impeachment ambayo itakuwako imewekwa.
But Ruth Odinga is not celebrating the truce. In fact, she believes it is a betrayal. She argues that Nairobi residents deserve answers and that the assembly's oversight role must never be compromised. even for political convenience. Her statement directly challenges her own brother Raila Odinga, suggesting that ODM's move to protect Sakaja has undermined accountability.
We actually uphold the devolution, the tenet of devolution that states that the MCAs are the actual oversighters of the governor. So for me, I'm very clear and categorical that the MCAs of Nairobi have let down the people of Nairobi.
For Sakaja, this reprieve is temporary relief, but the grievances remain unresolved. Questions about the county's finances, delayed ward funds, and the perception that his administration has failed to live up to its promises. The bigger story here is political. Ruth Odinga's criticism puts Raila in a delicate position. It raises uncomfortable questions about whether ODM is prioritizing political deals over governance. And by calling out both Raila and Ruto in one breath, Ruth has positioned herself as a voice of principle, someone willing to say what many Nairobi MCAs are whispering privately.
That the county assembly members have the right to bring in an impeachment motion. That is their constitutional right. But we also have the benefit of the disruptions that have taken place in recent history for Nairobi, especially when the governor, former Mike Sonko, was impeached. You saw how much disruption occurred in Nairobi, followed by the establishment of the NMS and the many things that ensued thereafter, including a lot of things that came to a standstill as a result.
But everyone has a second chance. This is a very good opportunity for him to be able to bring his people together. Dialogue is always a leadership role. We encourage it so that everyone gets a win-win. The leadership, the people of Nairobi.
There's a lot of confusion that came in through with NMS. And the intervention is not about Sakaja. The intervention is about Nairobi County, the unique city, which cannot be parallel to any other county.
This process would have been, as members of parliament from Nairobi, we stayed back and allowed the MCAs to conduct their constitutional mandate. Now, we're only speaking because they've taken the initiative to allow dialogue chance, and we've come in to support our MCAs just to ensure that we all respond to the people of Nairobi.
On the other side, Ruto's role cannot be ignored. By persuading UDA MCAs to step back, he has protected a key political ally in Nairobi. For UDA, keeping Sakaja in office is not just about governance, it is about controlling the country's capital, a strategic prize in the national political chessboard. So, where does this leave Nairobi? The impeachment is not dead. It is only paused. The MCAs could revive the motion in a month if their frustrations remain unaddressed. That means the sword still hangs over Sakaja's governorship. As Ruth Odinga warns, the issue is not about politics, it is about accountability. And unless Sakaja delivers tangible results, this impeachment storm could return even fiercer. For now, one thing is clear. Nairobi politics is not cooling down anytime soon. It is heating up fast. Newsroom, Maisha TV, Reader carrying Chibet.